Jen?
Yeah, Ferris High School teacher Mandy Manning went to McAllen with other members of the American Federation of Teachers, hoping to not only check in on the children, but also learn more about the education they're currently receiving. She hopes everyone will download the app now in case sexual violence ever happens to you or someone close to you. You'll know where to begin with Seek, Then Speak. It wasn't until fairly recently that we learned what exactly the threat to Spokane was. And it turns out we have our very own fault line here that runs from the airport all the way to Hilliard. When making your donation, just make sure that in this designation line you select Injury Prevention Program. That way it ensures that all of your donations are going to the program to buy those helmets for those kids. This year they only had 500 for the pilot program, while this year they have about 1,500 here in Spokane. According to these court documents, Bryce Thompson, who is currently in the Missoula County Jail on $1 million bond, allegedly murdered Alyssa Dodd, his girlfriend, with a hitch ball mount. If you have any idea who these women are, you are urged to call Crime Check. That number's on your screen, 509-456-2233. It's bacteria, and it has the potential to be hazardous to you and your family. City Council unanimously voted yes, tripling the amount of time you can park your car on the streets in residential areas. That's right, the owner of Zoe Coffee House and Pub is taken over, and don't worry, the owner Mike Wagner told right now there are only 50 spots left, so if you want to register your team, make sure to do that tonight. It's first come, first serve.
Let's get right to Jennifer Forsmann, who was the first reporter there. Jenny, do we know how this woman is doing?
So, Claire, this happened just where the Sullivan Bridge crosses the Spokane River here in the valley. And we don't know how she's doing right now. We're still waiting for another update. But what we did just find out from the Spokane Valley Fire Department is that the two men who saw the woman in the river jumped in and pulled her to the shore. And by chance, a Spokane Valley Fire Department inspector was in the area, and the men who rescued her flagged him down to come help. Together, all three of them began CPR. Now, after about 5 minutes, the full fire team arrived and used ropes and pulleys to pull her up the steep side of the river and then into the ambulance, where she was rushed to the hospital. Now, we don't know if she planned to go into the river or if it just happened, but Spokane Valley Fire Captain Craig Warzen says that if you plan to hang out in the river, you are required to wear a life jacket.
Wear a life jacket. It's actually a law, and the sheriff's department will fine you if they catch you, and you have to be wearing it. You can't just have it in your possession. You actually have to have it physically buckled or zipped. There are several spots along the river that have loaner life jackets, so if you show up and you don't have one and you forget about it, you can actually take it off the board. It looks like a wooden sign with a roof on it, and you can take it off, put it on, float down to the takeout, hang it back up, and go home.
You can find these loaner life jacket areas along the Spokane River, specifically near 9 Miles Falls Recreation Area. I'm also told that although the Spokane River's water level is pretty low, there are still several fast-moving spots. In Spokane Valley tonight, Jennifer Forsmann, KHQ Local News. We're here at the warehouse where boxes are starting to pile up all the way up to the ceiling, filled with player t-shirts. And the big question this year is, what's the design and what color are players getting?
I think that a lot of the players who've done it, especially every year, a lot of years, will really like the color, and it will match most of their things. That's the hint I'll give. It'll match most of the things that they wear.
3 decades of shirt designs for the world's largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament, with this year set to be the biggest one yet. The pressure is on to create the best player shirts so far. Over 20,000 people sporting them all weekend long and into the months to follow. From the screen printer to players' backs, each is hand-rolled and organized by size before being packed away into bags for each player. Hoopfest organizers choose from hundreds of designs to be the design. Will it be red, blue, classic white, maybe a different spectrum of the color wheel? Purple even?
I really, really like the design. It's the few people who've got to see it have really enjoyed it and really like it. I think this year will be one of the best years that we've had the Hoopfest shirt design. It's really cool.
The same goes for the other Hoopfest swag and volunteer shirts. Bill Harris has been a volunteer for years, from the very first Hoopfest as a court monitor to this year, volunteering any way he can. Today he was rolling shirts, and he says this year's design has the other 29 beat. What has been your favorite design so far of all the shirts?
Player shirt? I'd have to say this one. I've seen them all.
But for you to see this year's design, you gotta wait just a little bit longer. In Spokane, Jennifer Forsmann, KHQ Local News.